Okay. There you
Can
go.
everybody hear me? Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, hey everybody, is there anybody on here who does not know me? Hi, Dave.
This is Katie Letcher. I'm on the phone. I don't know you.
This is Rita, and I am a director on Claire's team. And I am going to take about 5 minutes and talk about why bookings are so important, and also touch base on booking those shows with people you know. And so it tends to be the easiest thing to start with, but I want to kind of take you back down to sort of ground zero. And the simplest thing I want to ask you is, what do you have to lose if your personal business fell apart? And I want you to think about that. I want you, and it's going to take you back to your why. And we just had this conversation about why, about W questions, WWW. But I want you to think back to the very basic of what happens to your personal business if it falls apart. What are you doing this business for? And what does it provide? Why is it so important to you? That's what you want to build off of. And that's the momentum for you to take into wanting to make something out of your business. Okay? That's going to make you get up at 4:30 in the morning and make those early contacts before you go to work. It's going to keep you up at night making those contacts before you go to bed. And it's going to be those things that cause you to reach out to people who maybe you haven't talked to in 20 years. I have made contacts with people I went to high school with. I haven't talked to them in 25 years, okay? Do the math, you'll figure out how old I am. But that is really huge for me, because usually I like to be the fly on the wall and let people contact me. But it's absolutely vitally important for you to want to make your business work. And that means contacting those outside of your normal little sphere of friends, okay? And so one of the things is, I want you to always have the why in front of you, why you want to work your business. Why does it matter to you? What does it provide? And where's your satisfaction from it? And when you feel that and you can own it, then the next natural step is going to be your next step, reaching out and making those contacts. And I got to tell you, I have gone back to my core group of friends, but the amazing thing is my hosts have in some ways become my friends. And so when I host their party, you are always going to walk away with takeaways, things that are important to them, things that matter to them. And your job as a consultant is to commit that to memory. You cannot overlook how important those consultants are, or I'm sorry, those hosts are to you as a consultant. So it's really important for you to keep track of what matters to them and then help fulfill that need. And so that can be a matter of following up with them. You know, I had a show for a lady. She did a show last October. She followed up and did a show again in June. And her daughter was going through a real struggle. And she reached out to me outside of my Pampered Chef life in my other job that I do. And we talked. I followed up with her again. And I said, hey, how is your daughter doing? Did that situation resolve itself? She contacted me, called me right back. And she said, it is. She's thriving. She's doing great. By the way, I'm doing a launch. And I'd like you to be showing Pampered Chef products as a means of eating healthy and being embracing the vital life that you have. And now I just got a booking for December, just because. So that's what I'm saying, is it's so important for you to contact those friends. If you're just starting out, your most important contact are going to be the people you know. And it's going to be the people you know that will help you get your business off to a solid and strong start. And I'm not saying posting out on Facebook going, hey, I just started a business, book a show. That means you're going to have to get out of that little comfort zone. And that's going to mean reaching out to them personally and saying why they are important. Because most people want to feel that they matter to you. They're just not one of 1,000 people reading a text or a post on Facebook. They want to see that what they do matters for you. So let them feel that. They want to help. So let them help you. You're their friend. So that already overcomes the very simple step of making a connection because you already have it, right? And so the next best thing to do is to help them. Don't make it complicated for them. You can, you know that they're friends, okay? You've established that they want to help you. And then the next best thing is don't make this overbroad for them. Don't simply say, so when are you free? No, that makes it too broad for them. If you can simplify it and give them, say, 2 dates, 2 options, that helps people sort of focus. Okay, they're going to take this whole big whirly bird thing that's going off of a bunch of different things. They've got schedule, they've got kids. You just gave them 2 dates, and those 2 dates they zone in on, and they can say yes or no. And that's what I did. I've been working with a friend who wants to do a freezer meal workshop, and she's quite a haul. She's pretty far out of town. And she did a show for me a few months ago, and she wants to do a freezer meal workshop. She wants to do it keto style. We're going to do it after the holidays to kind of jump on the eat healthy in January sort of crazy train. And I was able to contact her, follow up, and get something scheduled because I said, what about January 5th? And she's like, no, it's not going to work. And I said, what about January 12th? And January 12th isn't going to work now. So I did have to go back and reschedule that. But that helped her focus. Give her a date and an option. Very simple. Don't complicate it. People are much more excited about something they think is easy. So don't make it complicated for them. What else? Am I up or am I over my 5 minutes? Claire?
So why don't I take the next one? Thank you. So I'm going to talk about out and about bookings, and I love this. Did I always love out and about? No, but it is a great way to get out of your shell, get out of those people that you know. So there are vendor events, and that is a great out and about way to get more leads, more shows, more leads for the business. But I want you to be thinking about where are all the places that you go every single day. And they say in order for you to really grow, sometimes it's a little painful, but it's a good pain because it makes you grow. Every time you experience a little bit of pain within your business, you have just grown tremendously. Can anybody relate to that? You're going out of your comfort zone, and all of a sudden you have new opportunities because you have stepped out of where you are so comfortable. So I want you to think about, in an average day, where do all of you go? You probably go to a doctor, to the dentist, grocery store, to restaurants, all those church, all those different places. And every time you go to one of those places and there is somebody there, that is another lead for you for bookings. So I want you to write down 5 different places that you go on a regular basis. So why don't any that I didn't list? So
School.
To school. That's another great one. Thank you. Where else? Every place that you run for an errand. Every place that you stop. Even if you, at work. Yep. Even if you're
Did you
delivering
mention the bank?
product to the bank. Oh,
You mentioned that?
how about at the never pay at the pump? Have you heard that one? Always going inside. Every single place that you go on a regular basis, you are meeting people that if you don't ask about doing a show, somebody else will. So there are things like logo wear. We are very blessed to have Bridget that can do things quickly for us, or PC gear. And there are bags that you can put PC on. You can put your catalog in. You can take your purse, put your catalog inside out. Some of you have heard me say the same thing forever, but you know what? They still work. And that the art is starting conversations. And raise your hand. Who's a little bit nervous of how would I start a conversation when I am out and about? It just doesn't feel natural. But I want you to know that if you were talking to somebody and starting a conversation, you can twist it into Pampered Chef so easily. And really the easiest way to do that is to ask what they do. So if I am out and about and I am in a store line and we're just chatting, we might chat about what's, I even start about the weather. I mean, that's lame, but it's, you know, the weather, because that's around us. It's ever changing. Or some of the things that are on that they're picking up, or if they seem like they're in a rush. And then I might ask, are you from Cottage Grove? Or you can ask from your town, are you from Cottage Grove? Are you local? What do you do? And, you know, in small towns, and I know a lot of you are in small towns, people like to talk to each other. And people like to talk about themselves. But what the cool thing is, when you ask somebody about them, they will typically turn around and they will ask you about them or about you. So start those conversations just by using anything that you would say to anybody else. So even if it's how cute their child is, or what's, you know, you could say, you know, what are you making with your groceries today? And you could say, oh, I have an awesome recipe that goes with that. And then you can start that conversation into Pampered Chef. When you're out at a restaurant, if I have exceptional service, I ask, because of course, I want to work with people for the business part, because when I see exceptional servers, I would love to have them on our team. And I always start conversations with them and just ask about, you know, are you local? How long have you been working here? Tell me a little bit about you. And then I will work that into a booking conversation. You know, I'll just say, you know, I'm with Pampered Chef. I'm always looking for people who are exceptional with service, but I also would love to come and do a cooking show with you and your friends. You seem like so much fun. And if you look like so much fun is something that you can say in the context of that. So, but I want you to be thinking every place that you go, maybe you're at the bank and they see you're depositing money. Go inside. Don't always do the drive-through. Bring your catalogs along and open up those conversations. I'm just making a deposit with the checks that I received this week from my shows. So what do you do? Oh, I'm with Pampered Chef. I love Pampered Chef is usually what they say. And then you can ask, have you seen a catalog recently? What are your favorite products? If you've been to a show, what sort of theme was the show you were at? And continue to ask questions, because that will bring out answers. And then it will continue those conversations. So think about at the grocery store, or any store, the dollar store. When I am there, I always have catalogs with me, be ready for business. I have everything in my bag. I plop my bag right down onto the area where I'm checking out, and it has Pampered Chef on there. And I have my prize drawing slips, or I have my little cards for them to fill out. And I will say, while I am checking out, how would you like to fill this out? And I'll ask them a couple questions. Have you ever been to a show? You know, all those things that I have asked before. And it's just, the more you do it, the more confident you are going to be. But if you don't ask, someone else is going to come up and they are going to ask them instead. Any questions about that? Be thinking about what we also offer with our fundraisers. We have so much to offer, guys. We have so much. Cooking classes are everywhere around us. You can offer those. I am going to offer a pie making class. That is a service. I stink at making pie crust. Think about all the thousands of people out there who stink at making pie crusts, and I can help them. Am I going to be able to teach them? Maybe if I learn, but I can bring in people to help teach others. You guys, we have so much to offer, but it's up to us to share and to ask, and it only comes from you. Okay, Rita.
Okay, sorry about that. Dead silence. We're talking virtuals?
Yep.
Okay. So how to get those virtual bookings. So I have been doing this business now for about a year and a half. And I got to tell you, the simplest way really is the easiest. And so when you first started out your business, you were simply told, ask everyone, ask often, and ask a few questions that are always a constant. Is if they say no, is that no, not ever, or no, not right now? Because then you have the lead in of, well, if it's no, not right now, do you mind if I follow up in a month? Again, you're not saying, when do you want me to follow up? You say, by putting out there 1 month, you're automatically able to jot down in your calendar when to follow up with them 1 month from now, period. And what I have found easy to do is to put that in your calendar. And then it just comes up on a calendar notice saying, I do FU, not that FU, F/U for follow-up, and then the name of the guest that I want to follow up with. And it might be what it is that I want to follow up with them about. But oftentimes, the simplest is always the best. So simply go back to them and say, you were so much fun in the virtual party I just hosted. In fact, I've been doing that for the last few that I've done. You were so much fun. I would love to have a host party with you where you would get the benefits. And if they were talking about, I have a particular guest who I'm really trying to work with. She has a medical condition, and that has to really affect how it is that she eats. And she has to be very strict about her diet because it really depends on the health of her lifestyle. And so my question to her automatically was, I would love to partner with you to educate myself and to also then offer you menus and recipes that work within that lifestyle. And so bottom line, the next question was one of two dates. Does this date work or does this date work? Know your calendar. It's vital to know your calendar in advance. You cannot go into a conversation and say, so would you like to book a show? And they say, sure. and you're left going, oh crap, I don't have my calendar in front of me. You have to know. You have to know what's on your calendar and be able to say, do you want a weeknight or a weekend? Okay, that's one choice. And then when they say, give me a weekend, and then you follow up with, do you want this weekend or this weekend? You can narrow it down to a Saturday or Sunday, but you always got to have 2 dates you can throw at them. Again, keep it simple. Don't overextend yourself by saying, tell me what you want. You offer them what's available for them because they want you to take the lead. They really appreciate the fact that you can kind of direct them where you want to go. And that's all part of your host coaching anyway. But to help them feel confident that you're going to lead them in the right direction starts with giving them dates that work. And that is a date that you're going to have to stick with. So you can either say, throw out there what works for them, and then have them come back and say, yeah, that's going to work fine, or no, it won't. And then you say, okay, then give me an idea. Do you want a weeknight or a weekend? And then work your way back and then into a date. And then as soon as that date gets booked, you're going to sort of put them into the system, so to speak, into your system. And that system is going to be vital. That system is going to help you stay organized. When you have 4 hosts who are all coming in on the same day, booking at the same time, and getting their shows started, because you're going to need that in order to roll into keeping them organized, but flowing on an organized basis to make you look like you know what you're doing. Because no consultant will ever feel confident if they feel like they're running by the skin of their pants. It's just tough. It's tough. And you can fly that way for a little bit, but it can't sustain you. And your business is all about bookings. So to follow up and get those virtual bookings is all about starting those conversations early. If you're doing a party, it doesn't mean waiting until those booking posts start coming out. In fact, in the Trish Woods, one of the things that she offers even before the party starts is putting out a post that says something like, who wants to party? I got 3 bookings by throwing out that post before the party started. So it's very simple, but you have to be enthusiastic, jump in and say, who wants to party? And you'd be surprised at what someone will respond with. And then you watch for the people who are very energetic, who are, and I don't mean jumping up and down, but I mean very active with posting virtual comments. Because those are the people who are going to make outstanding hosts, because they are gregarious, they're outgoing, and they're connected into the party. If they're connected into this party, what do you think they're going to do in their own, right? So those are the kind of people I will also take aside, follow up with, and say, you would be so fabulous at this. And the thing that I do, and I learned this, I think maybe from Michelle, she told me, don't reach out to a new person who you are not friends with until you tag into a message group the host as well. And that host is going to connect the 2 of you in a way that allows you to be able to interact and hopefully communicate on an easier level. Because if you communicate with a potential host without being friends with them, it puts you into a separate category. And sometimes your message is lost. Okay? So what you want to do is, if you're just reaching out into a virtual party and you have a real outstanding talkative guest, start a message with them in private messenger, but tag the host in it. Start a 3-way conversation with them. And then your dialogue is simply, thank you to the host for bringing them in. You're so outstanding. And then have you ever thought about doing what your host is doing, because you would be fabulous at this? So you're thanking the host, but then you're also saying, hey, it would be a real easy way to interact by bringing in this other person too. So I'm curious to know what might be a hurdle that some of you folks might have in terms of booking hurdles. What's a booking hurdle that you have encountered? Is it just always no? Do they just always say no? Or are they chomping at the bit to say yes?
Once I mentioned Pampered Chef, they stop talking. They don't respond back.
So when you mention Pampered Chef, is it talking to them within the scope of a Pampered Chef party or just reaching out to them cold call?
Cold call, we'll talk about how their family's doing. We talk about what they've been doing, and then we ask about what each other's doing. And then when I say that I'm with Pampered Chef, then I don't get anything back.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? So
Yeah.
what, in that situation, what are you hoping to have as a result from that, Roger?
Anything, like congratulations on doing your own business, congratulations on, or what it's about, or anything. Just, you know, not crickets. I mean, anything is better than crickets to me. I'm not looking for them to say, oh, great, I want a show right now. I'm not looking for that. I would eventually get to that, but right now I'm just saying, hey, I'm with Pampered Chef, and I know that you're working with the Army still, and that's great.
So I think one thing that we have to remember is, you know, just like any store out there, they send out lots of material to draw you into their store. They're little by little. And I think we have to remember that sometimes that's the same thing that we do. Sometimes it is a relationship that grows over time where they're building up that trust with you. There are personalities of people who can make decisions to do something immediately, but then there are also people who are more hesitant and have to build up that relationship. So one thing at this conference, they said 7 times, you know, when things are in front of people. And I want all of you to challenge yourself to, you know, am I having these honest conversations with people? Am I creating these relationships that over time I will build their trust and I will build that desire that they will want to have shows with me? And it's not going to happen immediately with everybody, but just a slow process. And we also have to count, you know, 1 out of 10, sometimes more when it's people that we don't know. So it's just a slow process with some, and then there are some that will walk up and say, yep, I want to do a show. So Rita, we have just a couple minutes. Did you have anything else? Would you need to bookings?
You go into the other bookings because I'm always curious to know how you get them on the fly.
Okay, so I really feel I'm going to talk to you about bookings for cooking shows, and there are, I know, a lot of virtual consultants on here, but really it is the same. And I want you to be thinking about a couple things, and that is, how do you present yourself, whether it is a cooking show or a virtual show? Would I be, if I was watching myself, would I book a show with me? Am I clean? Am I tidy? Do I have dog hair? Do I, am I fun? And it doesn't mean they have to be over the top fun, but it's, am I fun? Am I relatable? Am I talking to people in a relatable way? Am I excited about what I'm talking about, or am I monotone? Am I talking and greeting with people? Even if you're virtual or your live shows, are you talking to people in Messenger, or are you talking to people as they walk in to a cooking show? So they, you know, I don't put my apron on right away and I am greeting people. They have no idea that I am the Pampered Chef consultant. They think I am the host's friend, because I have treated them like a friend as we worked up to having this show. And when you do that, they are going to introduce you as a friend, and people trust their friends' friends. Okay? So be thinking about that. Are you ready Are you ready in your virtual shows? Are you ready in your live shows to jump in and to be ready to get your show going? Are you there on time? Are you in a rush? Are you scattered? Are you negative? You know, leave the negativity in the flower pot when you leave or when you walk into the door. You can pick it up on your way out, but walk in there with a smile because that host is the most important person in that room. Are you creating desire in your virtual shows or your live shows? Are you creating that desire for these products that they cannot live without them? Are you solving problems for them? Are you giving them ideas? So that when you talk about products and you give multiple ideas of how to use things, you create that desire and you make that product cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And then they are ready to go book a show, bring their friends together so you can showcase that at their show. Don't bring the world. Don't bring every product you own. Create that desire so they want more. So they want you to come and to do more shows for them. You show them absolutely everything. They're not wanting more. And are you showing those high-priced items? You know what? We have an incredible program where our hosts can get products at 50% off, 60% off, 30%, 25, 20. They can get it for free. We have an incredible program. Are you showing those high-priced items so that they want to invite you in and get them at a discount? Are you sharing those specials with them? Are you sharing all the really, really fun theme shows that we have? So, those are the things I want you to think about when you are booking. You know, it's not all about you. It is about them. And when you remove yourself, your business is going to explode. And it doesn't matter what your goals are in your business, but when you remove yourself and you think about how you can help so many other people and getting people together in a home and helping your host have a successful show, that is probably one of the best booking tools that we have. So invest in every single part of your business and make it the very best, and you will be blessed in return. That's what I have to share. Does anybody have any questions? Sounds like we're done. Anybody? All righty. So I guess everybody can take some time. It looks like it's about 8:40. So you guys can touch base, green dot, some people that you see out there, send some messages, make a couple calls, and go book some shows tonight. Go book some shows this week. Invest in your business with yourself. Have a good night.